What is up, guys? Heath with Lake Champlain Sanitation here, and boy am I excited for this video. I've probably been wanting to make this video now for like a year, guys, but I've had two diesels for the last year and a half. I haven't had a gas job truck other than that 6.4 5500 that I have. So bringing you guys this video today because I hope it brings a ton of value. I get a lot of questions. Should I start with a 1500, a 2500, a 3500? Should I go gas? Should I go diesel? Should I go dually? Should I go single axle? All really good questions, guys. And in this video, I'm going to give you a real life comparison of my 2021 Ram 2500 with a Cummins 6.7 diesel engine versus the 2021 Ram 2500 with a 6.4 liter gas engine. Both are regular cabs, both are four-wheel drive, guys. Interiors are practically identical, and the only exterior differences is literally the chrome appearance package, because this is the truck that they had at the dealership at the time that I traded in my other truck. We're going to get into why I traded my other truck first and foremost, but ultimately later in the video, guys, get you some gas mileage comparisons, tow hauling comparisons of capacities, and all that good stuff. Don't usually work Saturdays, but I got a good buddy who last minute needed a dumpster at his house for an emergency clean out situation. So I felt like it was a perfect time to make this video, guys. So hope you guys enjoy, like and subscribe to the channel if you like this content, and let's get into this thing. So it's all fair for comparison purposes, guys. We're going to start both the trucks' trip meter at 0 miles, and we're going to run them roughly a 20-mile route. This drop is going to be round trip about 20 miles, and then we'll grab the diesel, hook on to an empty dumpster, and see what we get for gas mileage out of that truck as well. Also, I want to note, guys, this video is going to be taken on rural roads, so take that all into consideration. We're not going to be in a city-like environment today. This is going to be rural roads, 30 to 55 mile an hour roads, and doing the comparison because those are the types of roads that I have mainly in my area. So if you're in a city, these miles per gallon might drop a little bit. So a lot of you are probably asking, why did I go with a gas over a diesel truck, and why did I go with a single cab when I had a crew cab diesel truck? Couple simple things, guys. Maintenance was starting to catch up to me on the diesel truck. It was out of the bumper to bumper warranty. It was starting to have a little bit of nickel and diming effects, and I've been really against that from the get-go. If you watch some of my earlier videos, I finance my trucks. I'm not at the point where I can pay cash for them anyway, but I like them to always run and always make money, and we put enough money down where we're not ever backwards in them, so we don't overfinance them. So it was time. I had I think like $9,000 positive equity trade in towards the new truck, so I actually dropped the monthly payment, shorter term, and didn't have to take any money out of pocket, and financed just a little bit more money than what I owed on that diesel truck. Now, obviously, the sticker price of the gas truck was less than the diesel, which is why I was able to do that, where I didn't really finance any more than I still owed because of the positive equity, and the gas truck was cheaper. I went with a single cab because where we go sometimes, and this truck is now a legitimate backup. Like, it matches the fleet. My father, who drives the diesel version, is very comfortable with a single cab, and my wife has a three-row vehicle for like when we have kids, or if anyone ever rides with us. So a single cab bare bones tradesman truck for me was like perfect, and it was a leftover. So I think that's kind of why I got a better deal on it as well, is because it was a leftover truck. It's a 2021, and we're going into 2022 here soon. So those are the main reasons that I went with it. And honestly, for running around town, I deliver garbage cans with it, and I run to the bank and run to the gym and normal stuff like that. I don't need a diesel crew cab truck anymore, or yet. Maybe one day if I'm making a lot more money and I want a nicer truck. But for right now, it's a lower payment, it's a lower amount of debt, and lower oil change cost, no fuel filter, change every 10,000 miles, any of that stuff, no DEF. So that's mainly why I went with the gas job for my runaround / backup vehicle. So a few miles into our journey here, guys, 7.4 miles per gallon. We are now going up a pretty good size hill. Watch the RPM spike. This car in front of us is going pretty slow, so we're a few miles under the speed limit. Or I should say we're about at the speed limit. But 3,000, just under 3,000 RPMs. We're holding 58 miles an hour in a 55. Gas mileage going down slightly, 7.2. We'll see if it drops anymore, 7.1. And we're running just about 3,000 RPMs as we crest the top of this hill here. And guys, if you have a dumpster business or just a dump trailer business where you're hauling stone or firewood or trash or doing dumpsters like I do, let me know in the comments below. What are you guys seeing for gas mileages in your either gas job, heavy duty trucks, your 1500s, or your diesel 3/4 ton style trucks while towing? So we are just about to pull into the customer's house, guys. It was a little over 10 miles each way from the shop, but we're going to unload the dumpster, of course, and then see what our fuel mileage is, or our gas, I should say, in this truck on the way back. Remember, this is an empty dumpster. I'm estimating that the Rollster that I have trailer and the dumpster together empty weigh just over 6,000 pounds. So take this, take this in with 6,000 pounds. This isn't a 12,000 pound load we're towing here. But about 7.5 miles per gallon is the average on the way up. Disclaimer, the way up was a lot of uphills. So we'll see. We're obviously going to get better gas mileage on the way back down. And we're obviously not going to have a dumpster on. So let's see if we can get above that 8 miles MPG in the 6.4 liter powered truck. So guys, dumpster's been unloaded for about 2 miles now, 7.8. We've gone up. We're gonna probably hit that 8 pretty easy. We are going downhill right now to empty trailer behind me. About 4,000 pounds is what they say, which is gonna be typical. I mean, your standard dump trailer is gonna weigh about that. If you've got like a 6x12, 7x12, 7x14 is a little more heavy with the sidewalls and everything being bigger. But yeah, I mean, well, right there, we just hit the 8 miles per gallon. We'll see how much higher we can go on our way back to the yard. All right, guys, so total round trip, 35 miles. I made a little pit stop, which is why we're about 5 miles over what we should have been. But 10.7 MPG, not too bad. We're gonna hook up the diesel and see what we can get out of that. All right, guys, so we're in the diesel. We're gonna run this thing around. We're gonna put about 20 miles on it, do a similar route out of the shop, and see what we end up with here. I'm not gonna unload this dumpster. We're just gonna see what it is loaded, because I got a feeling that the diesel is still gonna be better fuel mileage overall, even with the loaded, or even with the empty dumpster loaded on the trailer. So guys, about 11 miles in, we're 12.3 miles per gallon. You see that orange tow haul button to the right is on like it was in the gas job, but we also have this orange button a little further over to the middle of the screen. That is going to be your exhaust brake. For those of you that have never had a diesel before, the exhaust brake it helps you slow down. It basically, it'll rev up the motor some. I'll see if you guys can hear it when you hit the brake. Kind of hear that whistle as it slows down, guys. The biggest thing with a diesel is as I take off here to get up to speed, you're gonna see the RPMs don't really pull that hard. It's more of like a slow chug. Let's see here, we're gonna get up. I mean, it's shifting right around that 2200 RPM range. We let off here. Let's say we want to set our cruise at 55. We're pretty much rolling down, and now this is a pretty flat road, but rolling 55 at like 1200 RPMs, which you're not going to do that in a gas job. You're going to be at least 2,000 or more, which partially that is why I think that this diesel, even while towing this dumpster empty, is getting 2 miles better per gallon than pretty much the best fuel mileage we were seeing with the empty trailer itself for the gas style truck. So as we pull back into the yard, guys, 12.6 is about what we averaged, just under 20 miles on that trip. Typical, your normal back road still. So, you know, this wasn't a huge surprise to me. I mean, for the most part, diesels do get better fuel mileage. It really comes down to the price. And we're going to get into why I got rid of my other diesel truck and what our plans are moving forward and some other, you know, things that I think will help you guys make a buying decision. Okay, guys, so now I just want to give you a quick comparison. This is what we'll just call it a maintenance comparison. This is very, very basic maintenance, okay? This is oil changes, fuel filter changes on the diesel, which are recommended every 10,000 miles according to the manual. And then DEF fluid, which you don't need in a gas truck, but you do need that. That's diesel exhaust fluid. You need to pour that in every so many miles. Typically, we put one in like once a week when we're busy, once every couple weeks when we're not. And then just the purchase prices of the truck. Now, you're not going to see any monthly payments in here because it's going to depend on if you pay cash, if you put money down. Everybody's different, so I'm not even going to get into that. This is strictly going to be basic maintenance only. No brakes, no tires, none of that stuff. This is just the bare bones minimum to get you through your first 20,000 miles. So starting at the top, guys, we have both of our truck prices. These are the actual sticker prices of the two trucks that I now own. 54.2, that was back in early 2021. I bet you that truck's 1,000 more now, 1,500, but that was back when I purchased it. Again, both regular cabs. Then 44.5 sticker price on the most recent truck that I purchased. Warranty, 5 years, 36,000 bumper to bumper is going to come on both trucks. Now the powertrain is where we get a little bit different. The diesel is going to have 100,000 miles and still 5 years, and the gas job truck is going to have 5 years, 60,000 miles. That's going to be on your motor and your transmission components. Now miles per gallon, as we showed in the video, I'm going to average these out, guys. And this is with an empty dumpster, remember, so these could go down drastically if you have a really loaded dumpster, and they're going to fluctuate. So on average, 12 miles per gallon on the diesel and 8 miles per gallon on the gas. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot until we move down into the gas prices, which are currently very, very close, which is kind of odd. 2 cents difference, to be exact, between regular unleaded 87 and your diesel fuel. And we'll get down to the bottom here. Oil changes, typically 20,000 miles would probably do 4 on the diesel. Some may say that's a little too much, or I should say some may say you could get away with 3. I like to do at least the oil changes and stuff before they're really needed, and then 5 on the gas, because typically every 3,000 to 4,000 miles, even with synthetic, when you're towing all the time, that engine's working really hard, I would recommend doing the oil every 3,000 to 4,000 on a gas, and typically every 5,000-ish on the diesel. Now fuel filters, to my knowledge, whenever I get an oil change, whenever I've done an oil change myself, it's just the oil filter on the gas job. The fuel filters every 10,000 miles, which is why I put 2 over the course of 20,000. Every 10,000 miles, you're going to need oil changes, and $550 is going to get you 2 of those roughly. To my knowledge, it's north of $200, just south of $300, depending on if you do. I think there's like 3 filters on the newer ones. The older ones I think had 2. So that number is rough, but it gives you guys an idea. DEF, diesel exhaust fluid, $600. I'm gonna assume for the whole year, judging on, let's say you're doing one of these things a week, and 1 2.5 gallon a week if you're running dumpsters all year round, you're putting on the miles. I like to keep mine full. I mean, you obviously could run it down to empty all the time and do less than that, but I wouldn't recommend putting yourself in that position. So $600 a year for DEF, because some of these are $20 per jug, or if you buy them at like in pallet pricing, you can get them as low as, right now, I think like $10 a jug, depending on where you are in the country, of course. And this is the big kicker, guys, the fuel and the gas. 4 miles per gallon doesn't sound like a lot until you get down to the bottom, where we have our total cost for the year of the gas truck actually costing, even with all that diesel maintenance, that gas truck costing just about exactly $1,100 more per year to run, because of the fuel mileage. Now, the purchase price, yes, I know everyone's going to probably say the purchase price of the diesel is about $10,000 more than the gas. That is correct. I will say this, that truck that I just traded in was a 2018 with 50,000 miles on it, base model truck. Back then it was 50,000. They gave me, I mean, they showed me this, but they did give me a couple thousand in rebates as well. 42.5 on trade, knowing it had some issues. So you're not going to see, I don't think, the same return out of a gas. So that's where, I mean, I don't even remember what my old 2500 gas job trade deal was, because it was a few years ago now. But you will get some money back, guys, off of that purchase price. But here, year over year, you would save, if say you're going to keep the truck, even if you're going to keep the truck 3 years, that's $3,300 in theory, if these numbers are correct in your area. And depending on if fuel goes up, and all that's going to change. But all in all, guys, the diesel, in my opinion, is the better buy if you can justify that extra money up front for it. So to sum it up, guys, I think the diesel is the better buy. I did just buy, obviously, a gas job truck to replace a diesel, but I have my reasoning for that. I have a diesel that is the main puller of the dumpsters, and now I have the gas, which is a backup. I don't think there's anything wrong with a gas job pulling one of these dumpster trailers. Honestly, that truck, the diesel that I have, has 15,000 miles, and I'm already being told the ball joints are getting loose in the front end. So that's going to be going in for warranty, guys. And that's 15,000 miles on a truck that's practically not even a year old yet. It isn't a year old. I just got it in March. But if you're going to put that 15 to 20,000 miles a year on, guys, just remember, like what I'm trying to do is just continuously, every time I get a new truck, finance less and less and less and less until eventually I can just pay cash for them, and that's not going to hurt my like nest egg that I save for winter. Now, if you guys are going to fully finance this truck, I would recommend if you are going to fully have a plan, okay? Have a plan where you're going to take as much revenue as you can, get that truck down like at least under the taxes amount, if that makes sense. Like the truck's 50, you got 4,000 in taxes. Let's just say you have to finance the whole thing. Find a way with your side job or your real job and this side hustle, if you're starting this as a side hustle, to get that truck down well below, at least a couple thousand below what it would have been out the door for taxes. So if it was 50, try to get down to like that 47,000 financed mark as fast as possible, and try to do it for only 5 or 6 years so you can continuously have that equity down the line. Otherwise, I've seen guys do this in my town. They buy a new truck, they finance it right to the hilt, they go put 20,000 miles a year on it, and then they're backwards in it before they even know it. And if they didn't put the cash aside to then put a bunch down and refi it, it's a bad situation when you go to trade the truck in. So I hope you guys like this video. As always, thank you so much for watching the channel and subscribing to the channel. If you guys have any questions, the coaching link is going to be below, the Calendly link. We got some new things we're working on, like I say in all the videos, and I want to just give one more shout out to Josh. He's pushed me to make more videos. It's just a timing thing. A little update on our business. My main driver's been out with COVID for the last 10 days, so I get him back this week coming up, which will be nice, but it really put a dampener on things this past week, which is why we got dumpsters in the yard, and I was not in the office at all, not selling at all. We were just pounding residential, my father and I, to get it done, and do the few dumpsters and cleanouts that we had to do. So thanks for the support, guys. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.